Nigeria's military high command has confirmed the deployment of soldiers across farms in the northern parts of the country, especially in the northwest and north central. Defense headquarters said the deployment was to ensure the adequate protection of farmers from bandits, terrorists, and other criminal elements. Farmers have been a major target for non-state actors operating in that region, and there have been reports of forceful and widespread levying of taxes from local farmers, with failure to pay usually resulting in the destruction of farm produce, kidnapping, and even death in some instances. In the first quarter of this year, about 332 farmers were reported to have been killed across Nigeria. That's a significant increase compared to the same period last year, when at least 128 farmers met their untimely deaths at the hands of the terrorists. Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to examine this. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure having you here, as usual.
It's great to have you as always. Now, how do you assess the potential effectiveness of deploying troops to farms as a strategy to boost agricultural production when given the complex nature of Nigeria's food security challenges?
Well, it's the arrival of governance and government in the northwest, northeast, and the affected areas. Yeah, it is the abandonment of government's responsibility that creates insecurity. It's not only in Nigeria, it's all over the Sahel, where you have herdsmen, especially in Nigeria, Fulani herdsmen, looking for water, you see. And nowadays, they are armed with rifles, and they have driven farmers away in Benue, northeast, northwest. You see, I always say that a government must have a monopoly of the use of force and violence in enforcing its rule. Legitimate force and violence in enforcing its rule within a given territorial area. It's when you have a lacuna of government presence that you see bandits, terrorists, kidnappers taking over space that will have government deficit and creating their own government, extorting money for people for protection and doing illegal mining. So the fact that government has at last woken up to protect its own territory, I find that admirable. I find it admirable. And I wish them well in that, because it will make sure, especially during this start of the rainy season, invariably farmers have fled these areas. But if they are guaranteed protection, they will come. And if they come and they are protected, we will have food. And our food inflation rate that is spiraling will be controlled. Let us leave it at that for now.
Oh, thank you, sir. Now, when it comes to our food security issues, insecurity has always been put out as one of the key reasons why we are food insecure, particularly when it comes to the North Central region. Now, I want to ask you if you believe that the deployment of soldiers would make not only the territorial issues better, but also, you spoke earlier about herdsmen versus farmer clashes, but there are also land disputes within the region. There are tribal tensions within the region. Do you think that this has a possibility to exacerbate it, or do you think that this would be a net positive for the people of the North Central region?
The sending of soldiers there is meant to quell the menace of bandits, terrorists, and criminal elements, like I said, driving people from their farms. So the presence of soldiers is not meant to exacerbate, it is meant to diminish, you get me? To deter people. That government is in control and government will protect its citizens. And in protecting its citizens, they will have opportunity to plant and harvest and make food available, so that food insecurity, which has led literally now to political instability, will be nipped in the bud. So I welcome it, and I see no exacerbation, and I see the deterring presence of the soldiers will guarantee some security.
Great,
for
Mr.
that.
Sobowale.
Yes.
I know you often give us examples, global examples, when we look at these local issues. Are there any that come to mind at this moment?
Okay, look at Sudan.
Okay.
Sudan, they are starving, literally. They are starving. But the warring factions, there is supposed to be a peace talk somewhere in Europe. They are not even there. Huh? And maybe they remembered what is going on in Nigeria. The rebellious faction has declared a hunger insecurity in Sudan. You see, they are fighting for territory, for control, and they are incapable of compromise, which is our own asset here. Which is our own asset here. Government is still in control, in spite of the protests. Like I mentioned yesterday, we are not like Bangladesh, and God forbid we go that path. But food security is, and it's not only on that score that government is trying. I just read before I came in here now that they have removed value-added tax and duties on rice, beans, and some staple food. You get me? Even though the hard-working Director General of Customs lamented that they will lose revenue, but he said that showed the level of commitment of government. That's welfare economics now. Yeah. That's what I've always preached for, even though you can be branded a socialist in the course of that. But you see, you have to subsidize, that's the word the World Bank is, you know. But you have to subsidize some things to feed your people and guarantee your own security and political stability. Because when people are hungry, I tell you, there's nothing they cannot do. And they cannot see anything good in government. Tinubu mentioned it in his visit to, I think, Equatorial Guinea, just now, that you see, the West wants us to be at each other's throat. But we must find a way to coexist and make sure that our people are with us. And don't let tribalism and corruption get in the way of making food available to our people. Because at the end of the day, you see, an hungry man, I keep on saying, is an hungry man. No matter your reforms, no matter your ideologies, policies, and whatever, if people are hungry, you have not delivered. That cannot be the dividend of democracy.
As we just begin to wrap up, we've spoken about improving insecurity in the region will help bring down our food insecurity issues. We've spoken about the removal of tax and import duties on basic food items that are necessities, and that should help drive down food inflation. Now, when it comes to, because we have a huge hunger problem, we have a huge malnutrition problem in the country, when it comes to bringing down the price of food, when it comes to making us more food secure, what else would you like to see from the government?
What they are doing, to be successful in what they are doing, you get me? To secure the farmlands. To secure nothing else. Let them secure the farmlands, and farmers can produce. Then you have food, quality food, hopefully, so that, because they say a healthy mind lives in a sound body. This is when you have nutrition, that you can think straight. But if you lack nutrition and food, you are easily provoked. You get me? And you are not likely to listen to anybody. You get me? Trying to stop you from expressing how you are feeling. So, hopefully, if the government is successful, and I pray they do, we secure our farms, we secure our food sources, then the tension in the land will lessen, food prices will come down, you get me? Political stability will be guaranteed, and government will be in a better way to think straight, to make life better for those who put it in power.
These are definitely significant points, especially when we look at the numbers of the farmers that were killed, you know, this year and last year. It's horrendous. So we definitely hope that they're successful. And for now, we'd like to thank you for your contribution as always. Arise News analyst, Mr. Dayo Sobowale, thank you so much for joining us.